Blake Lively's ongoing legal war with Justin Baldoni has taken a turn for the worse. The actress, once a Hollywood darling, is now facing one of the most humiliating moments of her career. Her own lawyer has reportedly dropped her as a client. Why? Because Lively allegedly lied to her own legal team, making it impossible for them to continue representing her in court. If you made it this far, you definitely don't want to miss what happens next in this wild Hollywood drama. So, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we're keeping a close eye on all the latest updates. And trust me, you won't want to be the last to know when the next bombshell drops. So hit that subscribe button and join the conversation. This is the latest twist in a lawsuit that has already exposed her bullying behavior, questionable ethics, and connections to a media cover-up. It's a dramatic fall from grace, and the public is eating it up. But what exactly led to this disaster? And why is Justin Baldoni refusing to settle, ensuring this case goes to trial? The legal world was shaken when reports surfaced that Lively's lawyer abandoned her case. This isn't just rare, it's almost unheard of in a high-profile lawsuit. Lawyers fight tooth and nail for their celebrity clients, but something about this case was so toxic that even a seasoned attorney wanted no part of it. The official reason? Lively wasn't honest with her own legal team. According to leaked court documents, she withheld key evidence, misrepresented conversations, and even gave conflicting statements about her involvement in the scandal. That puts a lawyer in an impossible position. No attorney wants to stand up in court defending a client who's lying. At the center of this controversy is a New York Times article that suspiciously favors Lively. Right after Baldoni filed his lawsuit, the paper published an article that painted Lively as the victim, subtly shifting the narrative to make Baldoni look like the aggressor. Coincidence? Not a chance. Baldoni's legal team was quick to call out the suspicious timing of the article. His lawyer even filed a separate lawsuit against the publication, accusing them of intentionally distorting the facts to protect Lively's image. The lawsuit demands to know who inside the publication coordinated with Lively's PR team, and whether Lively herself fed them false information. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have built their careers on being the perfect Hollywood couple. But that image is quickly unraveling. Industry insiders are no longer staying silent. Several former co-workers have come forward to share stories about Lively's controlling behavior, especially on set. A former production assistant described her as impossible to work with, while another accused her of playing the victim whenever things didn't go her way. And then there's Ryan Reynolds, who has tried to distance himself from the case, but it's not working. His silence has led to speculation that he knew about Lively's behavior all along. Worse, some believe he may have actively participated in behind-the-scenes manipulation. Remember, this isn't the first time Reynolds has been accused of controlling Hollywood narratives. His falling out with Deadpool director Tim Miller was a perfect example. He reportedly pushed Miller out of the franchise because he wanted more creative control. Now, people are wondering, was he pulling the strings behind Lively's PR strategy as well? In most Hollywood lawsuits, the goal is to reach a settlement and move on. But Baldoni has made it clear that he won't be settling. His lawyer insists that the damage done to his career and reputation is too severe and only a full trial will expose the truth. This has terrified Lively's camp. A settlement would have allowed her to sweep everything under the rug. But a trial? That means evidence will go public. That means witnesses will testify under oath. That means the full truth will be laid bare, and it may not just be Lively's career that takes a hit. Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, and even Lively's former friends in the industry could all be exposed. At its core, this scandal is about power, influence, and deception in Hollywood. Lively and Reynolds crafted an image that the public adored. The funny, relatable, down-to-earth couple who were just like us. But behind the scenes, they played the game like ruthless strategists, controlling the media, silencing critics, and burying scandals. Now, the cracks are showing. Their carefully curated image is crumbling, and the world is finally seeing them for who they really are. The real question is, will this be the end of Blake Lively's Hollywood reign? For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been Hollywood's favorite couple, always cracking jokes, posting cute anniversary messages and making fun of each other on social media. But now, people are starting to wonder, was it all just a PR stunt? Think about it. The perfect marriages we see in Hollywood rarely last. Whether it's Brangelina, Johnny Depp, and Amber Heard, or Will and Jada Smith, the truth eventually comes out. These relationships often serve a bigger purpose: maintaining star power, controlling media narratives, and keeping fans emotionally invested in the celebrity brand. Lively and Reynolds have never had a single public scandal between them, which is unheard of for A-listers married for over a decade. But with Lively's legal battle exposing her manipulative behavior, people are starting to question whether her marriage is as strong as they've always claimed. And here's the real kicker. If she lied to her legal team, what else has she lied about? Blake Lively's past comments are coming back to haunt her. One of the biggest signs that a celebrity's career is going downhill is when old interviews resurface, and not in a good way. That's exactly what's happening to Blake Lively right now. Clips from past interviews show Lively mocking other women, being condescending about co-stars, and making rude comments that didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but look completely different now. Her feud with Leighton Meester. Gossip Girl fans always suspected the two weren't friends in real life, but now we have receipts. In an old interview, Lively subtly shaded Meester, saying that while her character Serena was fun, she herself had better taste in men, a direct dig at Meester's then-boyfriend. Her past comments about Scarlett Johansson. When Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson divorced, Lively went out of her way to act superior. She once said in an interview that Ryan finally met someone who could handle him, which at the time seemed playful, but now looks like a cruel dig at Johansson. Her mockery of Kate Middleton. One of the worst resurfaced clips shows Lively laughing about Kate Middleton's public appearance after giving birth. Lively mocked how tired Kate looked while gloating about how she would have glammed up no matter what. In hindsight, it wasn't just tone deaf, it was outright nasty. These clips are proof that Lively's sweetheart persona has always been fake, and now that her legal troubles are making headlines, the internet is finally realizing it. One of the most bizarre things about this entire scandal is how Ryan Reynolds has completely disappeared from the conversation. Normally, he's extremely active on social media, constantly making jokes, commenting on random pop culture moments, and engaging with fans. But now? Radio silence. Some people think Reynolds is panicking behind the scenes, realizing that Lively's downfall could take him down too. Others believe he's deliberately staying quiet to avoid being dragged into the trial. But there's another, more sinister possibility. What if he's always known about Lively's manipulations and was complicit in them? This isn't just speculation. People close to the couple have said that Reynolds tightly controls their public image, ensuring that they always appear fun, lighthearted, and relatable. So if Lively was out there bullying people, lying, and manipulating the media, there's a good chance Reynolds knew, and maybe even helped cover it up. If that's true, then his silence isn't just about protecting himself. It's about protecting the brand he and Lively built together. If there's one thing this lawsuit has exposed, it's how Hollywood protects the rich and powerful, even when they're in the wrong. Think about it. When Justin Baldoni filed his lawsuit, major publications refused to cover it fairly. The New York Times ran a suspiciously one-sided piece. Influencers were suddenly defending Lively without knowing the full story, and some celebrity bloggers even downplayed the allegations. Now that the truth is coming out, people are asking, how deep does this cover-up go? Lively and Reynolds have powerful connections in the industry, but if even her own lawyer couldn't keep covering for her, that means this case is about to blow up in ways we haven't even seen yet. With Lively's lawyer dropping her, Baldoni refusing to settle, and Reynolds' reputation on the line, this lawsuit is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. The real question is, will Hollywood finally hold Blake Lively accountable? Or will she manage to manipulate her way out of this one too? For years, Blake Lively has been part of an exclusive Hollywood club. The type of A-listers who can do no wrong, no matter how much evidence piles up against them. Think about it. Other celebrities have been canceled over far less. We've seen actors lose their entire careers for a single offensive tweet. Yet Lively is still being protected despite serious allegations of bullying, manipulation, and dishonesty in a legal case. Why? Because Hollywood has a double standard. If you're rich, well-connected, and married to an industry darling like Ryan Reynolds, you're basically immune to consequences. PR firms will run damage control. The press will write flattering articles, and your powerful friends will sweep your mistakes under the rug. But with her own lawyer dropping her, Lively might be running out of people willing to protect her. Once the internet turns on you, there's no coming back. At first, Lively's fans defended her, assuming the lawsuit was just a misunderstanding. But after hearing the actual evidence, people started realizing that her carefully crafted girl next door image was all a lie. The tide is shifting, and Lively is clearly desperate to regain control. She's been making strategic public appearances, posting carefully worded Instagram captions, and probably working with PR teams behind the scenes to salvage her reputation. But the damage is already done. Fans are dragging up past controversies, rewatching old interviews in a new light, and questioning everything they used to believe about her. And the worst part? It's not just Lively who's taking the hit. Ryan Reynolds is getting exposed too. For years, Ryan Reynolds has been considered Hollywood's golden boy. Witty, charming, effortlessly funny. He's the guy everyone loves. But now, people are asking, is Ryan Reynolds actually a narcissist hiding behind a funny Twitter account? Some of the red flags are starting to add up. His joking insults toward co-stars. Looking back at interviews, Reynolds has a habit of mocking people he works with, disguising it as humor. But now, fans are realizing that some of his jokes seemed weirdly mean-spirited, especially when directed at actors with less power than him. His fallout with Jake Gyllenhaal. Once close friends, Reynolds and Gyllenhaal suddenly stopped talking. Rumors suggest that Gyllenhaal saw another side of Reynolds, one that wasn't so likable. His obsession with controlling his image. Unlike other actors, Reynolds doesn't just act in movies. He produces them, oversees the marketing, and controls the press tours. Every interview, every promotional post, it all has to fit the Ryan Reynolds brand. With his wife's scandals now affecting his reputation, Reynolds is doing everything possible to stay out of the headlines. But at this point, it might be too late. One of the shadiest parts of this whole scandal is how mainstream media outlets have handled it. When Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Lively was first announced, the New York Times ran a suspiciously biased article framing Lively as the victim and downplaying Baldoni's claims. This isn't just bad journalism, it's blatant industry protection. Lively and Reynolds have connections with high-profile media executives, so it's not surprising that certain outlets refuse to paint her in a negative light. But the strategy backfired spectacularly, because instead of silencing Baldoni, it made him even more determined to take this case to trial. Now, Baldoni is suing the New York Times for their role in spreading misinformation about the case. This is huge, because if he wins, it could expose how the media manipulates narratives to protect Hollywood elites. At this point, Blake Lively's career is at serious risk. She has multiple lawsuits piling up. Her own legal team doesn't trust her anymore. Her reputation is in free fall, and even her fans are turning against her. The question is, can she survive this? Hollywood has a short memory when it comes to scandals. If an actor lays low for a few years, they can usually stage a comeback. But not everyone gets that second chance, especially if they burn too many bridges. With everything that's come out, it's looking more and more like Blake Lively's Hollywood reign might finally be over. As the scandal spirals out of control, Blake Lively is desperately trying to salvage her image, but nothing seems to be working. At first, she tried the classic celebrity playbook, posting cute family pictures on Instagram to remind people she's a loving mother, leaning into feminist talking points to distract from the fact that she's the one being accused of bullying, strategically showing up at public events to make it seem like everything is fine. But people aren't buying it. every attempt at damage control just backfires, because it's clear that she's not addressing the actual accusations. Instead of taking accountability, she's pretending the problem doesn't exist, and that's making people even angrier. Another sign that things are looking bad for Lively? Her Hollywood allies are starting to disappear. In the past, she had big-name friends defending her, but now? Silence. Anna Kendrick, who has worked with Lively before, has been suspiciously quiet about the scandal. Leighton Meester, her former Gossip Girl co-star, hasn't said a word, probably because she never liked Lively to begin with. Even Scarlett Johansson, who has a reason to call out Lively's past affair with Ryan Reynolds, hasn't jumped into the conversation. But she hasn't defended her either. In Hollywood, silence speaks volumes. When your industry friends stop vouching for you, it usually means they don't want to be associated with you anymore. Here's where things get even messier. People are starting to wonder how much longer Ryan Reynolds will stand by Lively. Let's be honest. Reynolds is obsessed with his own image. He's spent years crafting a brand as the funny, lovable guy. And now that Lively's scandals are ruining that, he might have to make a choice. Does he stand by his wife and risk his own career getting dragged down? Or does he quietly distance himself to protect his reputation? Some fans already think he's preparing an exit strategy. They've noticed that. He's not defending Lively publicly. He's been avoiding social media more than usual. He didn't include Lively in his recent business promotions, even though he usually loves flaunting their marriage. If the scandal gets worse, don't be surprised if Reynolds suddenly announces they're taking time apart, because in Hollywood, self-preservation comes first. If you think this drama is coming to an end, think again. It's only getting started. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit is gaining traction, and legal experts say Lively could be forced to testify under oath. The New York Times lawsuit could expose the media's role in covering up celebrity misconduct. New evidence might still come out, making it even harder for Lively to escape accountability. This scandal isn't just about one actress. It's exposing how Hollywood protects its own. But for the first time in a long time, it seems like that protection is finally breaking down. Behind the scenes, Lively's public relations team is scrambling, but their damage control efforts are failing spectacularly. At first, they tried ignoring the controversy, hoping it would fade away. But when that didn't work, they switched to a full-blown media blitz, placing puff pieces in entertainment magazines, portraying Lively as a misunderstood victim, leaking stories about how she's focused on her family and rising above the drama, having anonymous sources defend her and paint Baldoni as the villain. But none of it is working, because the public isn't stupid. People can see through these desperate PR moves, and it's only making them more suspicious. Instead of clearing her name, Lively is digging herself into an even deeper hole. This scandal is more than just celebrity gossip. It's a warning sign for other Hollywood elites. Actors, directors, and industry insiders are paying close attention because they know they could be next. For years, Hollywood has been a bubble of unchallenged power, but social media has changed the game. People are calling out bad behavior in real time. Public opinion matters more than ever. No one is untouchable. Not even A-listers like Blake Lively. This is why so many celebrities are staying silent. They don't want to get caught defending someone who might end up fully exposed. And if Lively keeps spiraling, she might become Hollywood's next cautionary tale. A once beloved star who lost everything because she couldn't keep her ego in check. At this point, the question isn't whether Lively's reputation is damaged. It's whether she can recover at all. Some actors bounce back from scandals, but not all of them do. Mel Gibson took years to make a comeback, and even now, many people still won't work with him. Kevin Spacey? Career completely destroyed. Armie Hammer? Hollywood pretends he doesn't exist. Lively isn't at their level yet, but she's definitely on the edge. If more evidence comes out, or if Baldoni wins big in court, she could become completely unemployable. The worst part? She did this to herself. If she had handled the Baldoni lawsuit differently, she might have avoided this mess. If she had treated people better on set, fewer people would be coming forward against her. If she had just stayed quiet, instead of trying to manipulate the media, she wouldn't be facing a full-on backlash. Instead, she doubled down, and now she's paying the price. One of the biggest reasons Lively has maintained her sweetheart image for so long is because she's been protected by Ryan Reynolds' charm and influence. For years, people loved them as a couple. They were the quirky, funny Hollywood duo who always roasted each other online. But now, Reynolds is starting to look bad by association. He hasn't directly defended Lively, which is raising eyebrows. His brand depends on being likable, and this scandal is making him look complicit. Fans are turning on him too, saying he's just as bad as Lively but has been better at hiding it. If this scandal keeps growing, Reynolds will have to choose. Does he go down with Lively, or does he cut ties to protect himself? And if he chooses the latter, that could be the final nail in Lively's career coffin. Lively's situation is only getting worse, and there are still so many unanswered questions. Will more people come forward? If Baldoni's team has more dirt on Lively, it could be game over. Will Reynolds finally speak out? His silence is deafening, and people are waiting to see what he does. Will Hollywood blacklist Lively? If she loses major roles, it's a sign that the industry has fully turned on her. One thing is clear, this scandal isn't going away anytime soon. And Blake Lively's days as Hollywood's golden girl might be officially over. One of the biggest red flags in this entire scandal is how silent Hollywood has been. When a celebrity is in trouble, their powerful friends usually rush to their defense. We've seen it time and time again. But in Lively's case, crickets. No A-list co-stars coming to her rescue. No industry executives issuing statements of support. No anonymous sources calling her a victim of cancel culture. Even her closest friends in the industry, the ones who used to gush about her in interviews, are suspiciously quiet. And that silence speaks volumes. It suggests that Lively's reputation behind the scenes was never as perfect as she made it seem. That people knew what she was like and simply tolerated it until now. And now that her entire career is under scrutiny, they don't want to be anywhere near her downfall. For years, Lively marketed herself as the ultimate cool girl. She was relatable but glamorous. She was funny but not mean. She was a celebrity that wasn't like other celebrities, and for a long time it worked. Her social media was filled with quirky, self-deprecating humor. Her interviews painted her as down-to-earth and effortlessly likable. But now, people are finally seeing through the act. The mean girl energy isn't so charming anymore. The calculated PR stunts aren't fooling anyone. The public is realizing that the cool girl persona was just another role she was playing. And once that illusion is shattered, it's almost impossible to rebuild. One of the most overlooked aspects of this lawsuit is how dangerous it is for other Hollywood elites. Because if Baldoni wins big, it will send a clear message. Powerful celebrities can't just weaponize the media against their enemies. They can't use their connections to silence people who expose them. They can't destroy someone's career just because they think they can get away with it. And you can bet that other celebrities are watching this case closely, because if Lively loses, it could open the floodgates. Other victims might start speaking up. More lawsuits could follow. The industry might finally have to confront its own toxic culture, and that's exactly why Lively is fighting so hard to control the narrative. Because if she goes down, she might not be the only one. It's impossible to talk about this controversy without addressing Ryan Reynolds. For years, Reynolds has been Lively's biggest asset. His charm, wit, and influence helped shield her from criticism. But now, he's keeping his distance. He's not making jokes about it. He's not going on a PR tour to clear her name. And people are starting to wonder why. Is it because he knows she's in the wrong? Or is it because he realizes that defending her could damage his own career? Because if there's one thing Reynolds loves, it's his brand. He's carefully built an image as Hollywood's most lovable funny guy, and the last thing he wants is for that to be dragged down by Lively's mess. If this situation gets worse, will Reynolds stick by her? Or will he quietly distance himself to save his own reputation? Because if Reynolds abandons her, it's a clear sign that even he thinks she's beyond saving. At the heart of this scandal is a much bigger problem: Hollywood's toxic culture of protecting its elites. For years, the industry has enabled bad behavior. Celebrities who abuse their power are given second chances. Industry executives look the other way if a star is making them money. PR teams control the narrative, making sure the public only sees what they want them to see. But times are changing. Social media has made it harder for celebrities to hide their true selves. And scandals like this are forcing the industry to face uncomfortable truths. Because this isn't just about Blake Lively. It's about how Hollywood treats power, accountability, and the people they think they can destroy without consequences. And if Lively loses this battle, it might be the beginning of a much bigger reckoning. One of the most predictable things about a Hollywood scandal is how quickly the PR machine kicks into overdrive to save the celebrity in question. And in Blake Lively's case, we are watching it happen in real time. Suddenly, there are puff pieces being planted in major media outlets, trying to rehabilitate her image. There are stories about her being a devoted mother, as if that erases the allegations. There are exclusive sources claiming she's being unfairly targeted. There's a desperate attempt to shift focus away from the lawsuit and onto anything else. It's classic damage control. But here's the problem: people aren't buying it. The internet has completely changed how celebrity scandals play out. Audiences are more skeptical than ever, and they can see through the PR tactics. They know when a celebrity is trying to manipulate the narrative. They know when the media is being used to do damage control. And they know when an A-lister is scrambling to save their reputation. Lively's team can try to rewrite the story all they want, but the reality is this situation is out of their control now. Make no mistake, other Hollywood elites are watching this case very closely. Because if Lively loses, it sends a clear warning to the industry. You can't bully people into silence. You can't control the media forever. You can't just erase your bad behavior with a few PR tricks. For years, celebrities have operated under the assumption that their power and status make them untouchable. But now, cases like this are proving that times are changing. The public isn't as easily fooled. The legal system isn't always going to protect the powerful. And social media has made it impossible to sweep scandals under the rug. If Lively ends up losing this case, it could set a precedent for how Hollywood handles these situations moving forward. And that is terrifying for any celebrity who has spent years relying on the old system to protect them. So, what happens next? Lively is backed into a corner with this lawsuit. Her lawyer reportedly abandoned her. More damaging evidence is coming out. Her public image is tanking. And the worst part? It doesn't look like this controversy is going away anytime soon. The lawsuit is still ongoing and could get even more explosive. More people might start coming forward with their own negative experiences. Hollywood itself is distancing from her, which is a huge red flag for where this could be heading. At this point, there are only two options for Lively: settle and hope the damage can be minimized, or go to trial and risk complete career destruction. And if she loses in court, it won't just be a legal defeat. It will be a total collapse of the carefully crafted image she spent years building. And here's the real kicker. Even if she somehow wins the lawsuit, the damage is already done. Her reputation has taken a massive hit. The internet has receipts. And people won't forget this anytime soon. At the end of the day, this scandal has exposed something much bigger than just one actress's bad behavior. It has pulled back the curtain on how Hollywood operates, how celebrity PR machines work, and how the industry protects its own until it no longer can. Blake Lively's career may never recover from this, and if that happens, she has no one to blame but herself.